You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello. Welcome to this episode of Unstoppable Actors. I am going to be talking to you about landing your very first TV role and the exact steps actors are missing for that to happen. Why am I even qualified to be able to talk about this? Many of my acting students have landed TV work in TV soaps such as EastEnders in the UK, Coronation Street in the UK. They've landed Netflix dramas, they've landed Hollywood films, and I've shared with them both the craft of acting and the business of acting steps to help them get there. And so I'm going to be passing these on to you today. Before we get started, I want to say that I looked in the back end of the podcast and looked at the stats, and we are almost at 100,000 downloads. Oh my good Lord. That is so exciting. If you enjoy this episode, if you enjoy the podcast, will you do me a favour? Will you share this with your acting friends? Because I can't wait to reach 100,000 downloads. And it's not as an egotistical goal. It's because I know I'm helping more actors and giving them the insights that drama school simply did not give me. If you're new to the podcast, I have been coaching actors for coming up to 16 years. And I not only specialise in method acting, but I also combine that with mindset, the psychology of success, and the business of acting. And that's why my paying acting students do so unbelievably well with their acting careers, because that is the mix that you need, those three things: the craft, the business, mindset. I also want to share with you as well that if you class yourself as either a new actor, as in you've recently got started pursuing your acting goals, or an early career actor, which I would class as someone who has got themselves on some casting sites, they're out auditioning every so often, they've got a couple of credits on their CV, maybe a few more than a couple. If you class yourself as either one of those, a new or early career actor, and you feel like you're banging your head against a brick wall because you can't figure out why your acting career has stalled, despite the effort, despite the new year motivation, and despite the training that you're putting in, then I am running a free live class on Sunday, the 22nd of February. And it's taking place at 5 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. Europe, 12 p.m. New York. You can be from anywhere in the world to take this class. It's completely free of charge, and I am going to be teaching you the business of acting tools that aren't told. And I'm talking about the ones that get you better opportunities faster. I'm not gatekeeping in this class. I am so passionate about new and early career actors breaking through in the industry. I am sharing with you the tools that have helped my students get into paid acting work faster. If you want to grab a free place at this class, you need to go to this link, bit.ly/bizofacting26. That's biz spelt with a Z, 26 as in the numbers 26. So bit.ly/bizofacting26. Pause the episode, go and grab your place now, and then come back and press play, because this is going to fill up fast. Every single time I run this class, all the places go, and I've got limited places with it being free, but I also don't run this very often. So definitely go and get your place, and then let's continue with this episode. Right, so I'm assuming you've grabbed your free place at the class, and I'm also going to assume something else. So if you are listening to this episode this podcast, whether it be the first time, your 50th time, your 100th time, I am going to assume something very, very important about you. Number one, you're not lazy. Number two, you're not unmotivated. Yeah, you might have little dips here and then of lack of motivation, but on the whole, you're not unmotivated. And you're not bad at acting. Most actors who struggle to book TV roles aren't failing because of talent. They're not failing because they're lazy. They're not failing because of anything else other than they don't understand how the industry is reading them. You probably already know this, but TV casting is fast, brutally fast. The turnover for roles on TV, especially soaps, if we think about those, and especially now we've got all these streaming sites, is super duper quick. And casting directors literally do not have the time to imagine who you could be as an actor. So I want to walk through this properly with you, because many actors are falling down because they're portraying a version of themselves in the industry that isn't landing. So let's start with step one. For you to book your first TV role, you have to know your casting type. If you don't know it and it's ambiguous to you, then it's going to be ambiguous to everybody else. You have got to get super duper clear on this. And here's something I want you to really pay attention to. Your casting type in the early days is not who you want to play. Yes, we've all got visions of roles that we want to play. Yes, some of you are going to want to play things like James Bond, Lady Macbeth, the villain, a serial killer. You're going to have your goals and your ambitions, but in the early stages of your career, we've got to get strategic. So your casting type becomes who you look like you could play right now. So this is about things like class, age range, the energy you exuberate, status, life experience that you appear to carry in your physicality. So here's some questions to ask yourself. Do you look working class or upper class? Do you look like you'd do a trade for a living or run a business as the CEO? Do you look like authoritative, or do you look vulnerable? Do you look like someone who takes orders or someone who gives them? A classic example of casting type is Kate Winslet. She looks and sounds like the English Rose. Emotionally open, grounded, upper class. So when she got cast in Titanic as Rose DeWitt-Picator, that was never going to come as a surprise to anyone. And that is the way she catapulted her career. So she looked like that role, and obviously she had the skill and the talent to back it up as well. That's something separate, but you must be practicing your craft in the background, even when no one's looking, even when no one's validating you, even when no one's giving you big rounds of applause. You've got to be on your A game with your craft. So when she got cast as Rose DeWitt-Picator, it wasn't accidental, it was alignment. So if your career is stalling and you've got goals of getting on TV, doing TV work, you've got to get into alignment with what you currently look like right now. That becomes your casting type. If you're already auditioning and you've got some roles on your actor's CV, go and take a look at it. What roles do you keep repeatedly getting cast in? Because that is how the industry already sees you. That's your starting point, and it is not a limitation. If you don't have any roles on your actor's CV currently, and you're classed as a new actor, or you would class yourself as a new actor, answer those questions that I've just given you around class, energy, etc. Because that's going to be the starting point for your casting type. Now let's move on to USPs. USPs are your unique selling points. This is so important because, again, this feeds into how the industry is reading you. You need to define your USPs. And no, passion isn't one of them. So your unique selling points are what make you an asset. And I want to be super clear here because so many actors fall into this trap. When they're writing to casting directors, they write, I'm dedicated, I'm committed, I'm passionate. They're not USPs. They're a baseline expectation. Casting directors assume already that if you are in the pursuit of an acting career, you're already committed, you're already dedicated, you're already passionate. And it's just a waste of words in your cover letters. So really you need to scrap those, stop writing that. It's irrelevant. Every actor's saying that. It's not making you stand out. It's not making you sound unique. Your unique selling points live somewhere more subtle and more confronting, and they're about who you are as an actor and who you naturally show up as in the industry. Yes, even if you're brand new to this, you can have unique selling points. You're just going to have to grab them from your day job. And I'm going to give you a clue. Like, one of them might be that you are highly punctual. You can grab that from your day job. So if you're that person who turns up to your day job 15 minutes early, there's a good chance you're going to turn up to set 15 minutes early, or your audition's 15 minutes early, or you're going to sub your self-tapes early. That's a unique selling point. Your unique selling points can also be the energy you bring into the room, the emotional temperature that you sit at. It can be the kinds of dynamics you naturally bring to the screen or to the stage, but then also to the team, to the other actors, to the director. What are the dynamics that you bring to your casting crew? And a part of your unique selling points can be extensions of your personality. This can start to tip into something called branding. We're not going to talk about that on this episode. That's what we're going to go through in that free business of acting workshop that I mentioned right at the beginning of this episode, because that's just a tiny little bit more advanced. It is important. You do need to know about branding, but it's too much for this episode. And we don't want to start spilling into that and boxing yourself in right now. I want to give you things that you can work on at the end of this episode, where you can sit down and go, right, USPs. Let's have a little look at these. Let's get 2 to 3 USPs down. Even if you think they sound ridiculous, like punctuality, get them down. It's a starting point. You have to start somewhere. If you've auditioned before, or if you've been cast before, start having a look at the type of notes that you are repeatedly getting, because your unique selling points are hidden in there as well. They're the moments you are your most compelling, both in the production, in the audition, and how you're showing up in the industry. As I said, extensions of your personality. That is the beginning of your unique selling points. Now, these are going to develop over time, so with the more experience that you get and the longer you stay in the industry, you'll be able to refine them. But you can't refine something you've never named. And this is where most actors are stalling. They think they have an idea of their unique selling points, but they're going too general. And then they struggle because deep down, some of us have some insecurities, and we think, oh, well, if I start shouting about myself and saying all these wonderful things about myself, then I'm bragging. No, you're not. You've got to be your own best friend. You cannot sell yourself short in this industry, not when there's a gazillion actors out there fighting for the same role. If you have a lack of clarity over your unique selling point, you are making it harder for casting directors, agents, and even yourself, even you, to be able to place yourself in this industry with confidence. You're going to find it harder to sell yourself. If you do struggle with USPs, we're going to be touching on this in the free business of acting workshop as well. So definitely go and register for it, because I will be helping you refine them in that workshop, especially if you lack confidence around USPs, because I did for a long time. And then as soon as I got them, they came at me like lightning. And I was like, oh my God, I know what they are. Boom, that was it. I felt confident then. And I had no trouble selling myself and advocating for myself in the industry. And that's really what you're doing. You are advocating for yourself in this industry as to why you should be considered for a role. But if you don't know your USPs, or you're struggling with them, or you struggle with confidence in articulating them, or even pulling them out, definitely get your place at that free business of acting workshop so we can go into them in more detail. Step 3 then. You've got to get headshots that do the selling for you. So your headshots are not about looking nice. They are about instant storytelling. Your headshots should tell the story of this is the world this actor belongs in. That's your casting type, your age range, the kind of productions you want to work in. They should all be gearing up towards that. If your headshots don't match your casting type, you're slowing your career down, even if your acting talent is strong. One of the things that I'm really, really passionate about as an acting coach is combining the business of acting with the craft of acting. You simply cannot have one without the other. If you're incredible at the business of acting and all of this comes really easy to you, what I'm sharing right now, but you don't have the talent, you're going to get found out at some point. Your career will stall because you don't have the range to play lots of versatile characters. If you're incredible at acting and you are super duper talented, but you don't have the business of acting skills on board, you don't know how to shout about yourself, you don't know how to sell yourself, and you lack a bit of confidence with it, you are going to be the acting industry's best kept secret. So we have to have the two working hand in hand. I remember when I put this to use with my headshots, when I'd figured all this business of acting stuff out, and I was like, right, I am clear on my casting type, I am clear on my casting age, casting bracket, and I'm also clear on the types of roles that I keep getting cast in and the ones that I am aspiring to play. I got my headshots to capture all of that, and it was so much easier for me to get an agent, and I got called into way more casting rooms as well. I got way more auditions than I'd had in my life, and at that point I didn't even have an agent. And then I got an agent, and based on both my headshots, my showreel, my agent said, oh, I see you in these types of productions. And you know what they said? The exact same productions that I had written down as my goals for roles to play. So it all works hand in hand. Step 4, you've got to be building credits strategically, not emotionally. So don't go into applying for roles thinking, oh, I'd really love this role, I'd love it. That's emotional, it's not strategic. When you've got the budget, get a showreel with scenes that support your casting type. I will always advocate for you paying for a showreel. Yes, I know it costs money, and I know lots of actors gripe about how many things they have to pay for. I hear you, I get all that. But if you're serious about this and you can save up and you've got the budget for a showreel, it's much quicker than waiting on getting footage back to add into your showreel, or demo reel as you call it in the US. So you need a showreel with scenes that support your casting type. Behind the scenes, you work your craft daily so your acting is undeniable. But externally, this is business. This is the business of acting. So what we're going to do to build our credits strategically. Some of you will already have done some of these things. Some of you will be brand new. You're going to start with student films because that's where you're testing out your skills, you're building confidence, you're learning about what goes on a set. You don't want to jump straight into a TV role because you'll be out of your depth and then panic. So we're going to start off with a few student films first, not loads and loads and loads, but just to build up some experience, test your craft, get some credits on your CV, and start thinking about how you can get cast in student films that match your casting type. Then you're going to move on to independent films, because independent films pay you. Independent films can be a combination of short films and feature films. Once you start getting on the independent circuit, you'll start networking. You'll start getting to know more people, more directors. You talk to them. You've got an idea now of what your unique selling points are, what your casting type is. It then becomes easier for them to talk about you to their director friends. You build your acting CV up. You are now demonstrating that you've got talent. Yes, it's still going to need developing, of course, because it always does. But you've got talent, you've got confidence, and you've got a CV building behind you now. Then the next step, because you will have got that confidence, is we're going to aim for TV walk-on roles. This is a couple of lines only. And that is perfect. That is absolutely perfect, because those couple of lines can go on your showreel or demo reel. That credit can go on your CV and you've got an instantly recognisable credit on your actor's CV. With a director that will be known in the industry, this makes it easier to call you into bigger auditions for bigger roles. And this is what my acting students did. Right now, you are not trying to be the lead. You are trying to be recognisable and trustworthy. Because without recognised credits or a well-known agent, you throwing yourself at big roles is honestly like throwing spaghetti at the wall. So how are you actually going to get TV walk-on roles? There's a couple of ways you can approach this, and this part surprises actors. Number one, you can write directly to casting directors. You mention your new headshots or you share a recent job that you've just completed, and you ask clearly and professionally to be considered for a small role with a couple of lines. That's it. No desperation, no over-explaining, no begging, no overthinking, no doubting yourself, no questioning, oh my God, am I being too brazen? Am I being too forwards? Am I even ready for this? Yes, you are. You're ready for a couple of lines on a TV show. You are clear, you are direct, and you are professional. That is how careers quietly build momentum. You have to advocate for yourself. The other way to do it is by joining supporting artist agencies. And this is a short-term strategy, not a long-term strategy. And what you do is you do some extra work or essay work. And when you are on set, you tell the ADs, I'm an actor. If there's a couple of lines going today for anything, I'd love to be considered. It might sound cheeky, but you've got to put yourself forward. You have got to throw your hat in the ring. If you don't, like I've said earlier, nobody knows you exist. This is why most actors' careers are stalling, and it's because nobody's teaching this properly. Drama schools are focusing on craft. They're not going deep into the business of acting. Studios are focusing on performance. Again, they're not going deep into the business of acting. But TV careers are built where craft meets business. And that's exactly why I am running this free class on Sunday, the 22nd of February 2026. And I would like to coach you in it. Because if you struggle with any of this, or you want to go deeper into your unique selling points or your casting type, maybe you know you're capable, maybe you've got some big goals with your acting career, especially for 2026, but you're struggling. You're struggling to explain what makes you distinctive, or you're struggling to know how to position yourself in the industry without feeling fake or without feeling like, oh, am I being braggy and arrogant? This class is for you. So it's called The Business of Acting, Raise Your Profile and Book Your Next Role. It's Sunday the 22nd of February, 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. NYC time, 6 p.m. Europe. You can be from anywhere in the world, not just those three places, because it's online, and we're going to be deep diving into your unique selling points, because that is what casting directors need to see. And it's also the thing most actors struggle to drill down on. Not because you don't have USPs, because you do, but because no one's ever shown you how to identify them and how to communicate them properly. After this class, you are going to feel more inspired. You're going to have more clarity and more direction and practical steps you can actually use to book your next acting role. So the link is in the show notes, or you can go to bit.ly/bizofacting26. I can't wait to see you in there. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.